Hey everyone. You know, I don't think any of us realize this or not. Well, I do, and I'm pretty sure some of you do as well. Um, but do you realize that because of the delays in issues over the past few months, according to Archie Comics, is mostly being due to printing problems and some other sources saying because of the move that they had from one office to another, or from one building to another. That unless Archie Comics can find a way to play catch up, and I mean real fast, the whole panic in the sky, and I mentioned this in my reviews and in my monthly opinions recently, that the whole panic in the sky finale to the Shattered World Crisis, the NU 252 soft retcon reboot arc, if you will, is going to end at the end of the year. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's going to end at the end of the year. Now, we did get 279 towards the end of March and the beginning of this month. I got it twice because I had to email them and let them know I hadn't gotten it yet. Which, ironically, I ended up getting it about the Monday after as a regular issue, and I got an additional issue because of that. So, yeah, thank you, Archie, for that. But have yet to get 280, even though 280 is physically out. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping I don't have to email them again and let them know that I need 280 in my collection. But it sounds like 280 might be on its way real soon. Comic Frontline did a review of it, and the reviewer had a physical copy of 280. Now, I've already reviewed 280, though, thanks to Sonic ScanF. So now I'm just waiting for it to physically be in my hands before I'll probably end up reviewing 281, courtesy of Sonic ScanF. Now, the reason I bring this up is the same reason I brought up the whole situation. I think in the monthly opinions. Um, the, and I even brought this up not just in the monthly opinions, but if I take a look here, I even mentioned it in my audio video where I talked about how long it's been since the Mecha Sally arc began and how long it's been since it's ended. And yeah, I brought it up there, and I think I may have brought it up in my monthly opinions again. I'm not really sure, but the point I was making there in both those videos, audio video on the last one, on the Mecha Sally one, what I was pointing out was the fact that when you look at it, in a sense, we're going to be ending the year with this, possibly. I mean, true, within less than a month's span, we've already got 279 and 280. So unless Archie Comics is going to pump out the issues that were delayed real quickly so they can have that summer release for Panic in the Sky, this is the way the schedule is going to go. The schedule is going to go 280, which is this month, 281 at the end of this month into next month, 282 at the end of May into June, and then 283 at the end of June into July, and then you're taking a look at 284, which I believe begins. In fact, I'm looking at it right now, and you can see it here on the screen because I have a poster I have an 11 by 14 poster version of it hung up on my door, leaning to my bathroom leading to the bathroom and the guest room as well. So the additional guest room that we have, which I hope someday I could just add as an additional add-on as part of my portion of the house, if you catch my drift. Anyway, like I said, you take a look at that, and like I said, 280 at the end of this month into May, 81 at the end of May into June, 82 at the end of June into July, 83 at the end of July into August. And like I said, unless Archie Comics plays a lot of catch up, and I mean real quick, you're looking at the end of August and into the beginning of September for the start of Panic in the Sky. And then you take a look at and then when you look at it from that standpoint, you're looking at the end of August into September for part 1, the end of September into October for part 2, the end of October into November for part 3, and then the finale, which is part 4, at the end of November into December. Now, like I said, unless Archie Comics plays catch up real quickly and distributes not just 280, but then maybe a few weeks later 281 and then 282, all within a short month span. Like 280, now like they're doing, and hopefully I'll be physically getting it, as well as 281 at the beginning of maybe next month, and 282 at the end of next month or in the middle of next month, so that maybe come June they can get 283 out, and then they can get that summer ball rolling. Unless they do that, we are practically going to be ending the Shattered World Crisis towards the end of the year. Yeah. The end of November and the start of December is when the finale to Panic in the Sky and this overall Sonic Unleashed Shattered World Crisis arc comes to an end. If, like I said, unless Archie Comics plays catch up. And maybe they might do that. Maybe they will, and we might get a summer release. Might be a month late or later than what they planned, but maybe we'll get one. Maybe we won't. I'm not saying that it's not possible that they can't do it, because they can. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of comic book companies, that when they get delayed, they do whatever it takes after they get through that delay to catch up and meet their deadline, meet their quota. And hopefully, I'm not saying they have to, but if they want to make that deadline, they want to make that quota of a July release, or at least a summer release, basically late June, early July release for the Panic in the Sky saga, so that at least if they got it coming around, mid-June, late June, and into July, at least you would have that time frame of June, July, August, and September to get it done. But if they don't, then like I said, you're looking at 280 at the end of this month and the beginning of May, 281 at the end of May into June, in the beginning of June, 282 end of June into July, 283 end of July into August, and then Panic in the Sky begins at the end of August into September. And then, like I say, part 2 and then it continues at the end of September into the beginning of October with part 2. Part 3 starts at the end of October into the beginning of November. And then the finale is at the end of November into December. Now, one thing I mentioned in my opinions, I believe, is, and I even mentioned it in several other areas of the Sonic medium, or media, if you will. It makes me wonder if perhaps Archie Comics had this plan. Like, maybe they knew they might have a delay, maybe not as big as they thought. Because let's be honest, a lot of comic book companies, or a lot of companies in general, even though they will try to make up for those delays and try to make their deadlines and the quotas on time, sometimes they'll delay the inevitable, or sometimes they will cause delays to happen. And even though they could probably get on the ball, just like that, after after all the delays and everything's said and done, you know, it it makes it makes me wonder, and it probably makes you wonder, if perhaps the fact that they didn't do that is the fact that they want to end this year. Maybe they are looking at the fact that, hey, these delays may have become a blessing in disguise, and maybe in their eyes, not only can they end the year on a positive note, but at the same time, they can end the year on a positive note for the fans of the comic, and finally bring this arc that's been going on, and believe it or not, since 252, and officially since 257. They can finally bring this arc to an end. And if that's the case, then okay, fine. More power to you. But if that's what's going to happen, at least let your fan base, your subscribers, the people that go out and buy your comic, the people at the comic shops that go out of the way and order your comic, let them know in advance that, oh, by the way, things have changed, and instead of a summer release and conclusion, it's now going to be an end of the year conclusion and a end of summer, fall into winter release. It makes you wonder that. It makes you wonder. But again, I'm not, like I said in my opinions video, I'm not saying that that's what they wanted to do. I'm not saying they did this on purpose. Because maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was out of the control. Maybe they just couldn't do what they wanted, honestly. But when I look at this and I think, well, wait a minute. They made them whenever they moved to the new offices, and whenever this printing problem took place. Now, I also understand that there was weather-related problems at times up north, up in the Northeast. But still, with everything happening, you would at least believe they'd be able to accomplish their goal of trying to get back on track. I mean, I have emails that I got back from them saying, oh, we're going to have this up and running by February. February came and went, nothing. And March came and went, nothing. Until finally the beginning of April, like it's beginning of this month, April, that I finally got something, in the mail. Finally got a response that said, hey, we're going to ship it out to you. And like I mentioned earlier, ironically, from an official subscriber standpoint, I did get the issue. But it shouldn't have taken this long. I mean, if you're planning to do a February continuation, basically say, hey, we're going to get everything up and running by February, or at least mid to late February, then you should do that. You shouldn't say, oh, there's more delays. Because again, it makes fans wonder if there's really something wrong, or looking at it now from a schedule standpoint, if perhaps you planned this the whole time and maybe you want to end the year with this Panic in the Sky saga, so you can get a full, God, how many issues is it going to be at this time? 252 to 287? What is that, like 62 issues or 65 issues? And if you don't count that and you count 257 as the official start, 257 to 87? I mean, not 60 issues, but that's like what? From 252 to 287, that's like 35 issues. But if you don't count 252 and you say, Oh, it started with 257 to 287. That's 30 issues. That's 30 months. That's 2.5 years. So if that's what you were planning the whole time, or if you're looking at that now as the opportunity, then why don't you just come out and say it? That's what I would wonder. But again, I can't judge them. I can't say this is what they had planned. I can't say that. But what I can say is this. If you're going to meet your goal of trying to get things up and running again by at least the time frame you said, you should at least focus on that and not have any more delays. But again, when you come out and you tell people, oh, there's more delays, it makes people wonder and suspicious if maybe you're planning these delays to happen so that you can make the anticipation more anticipated for the fans, for the subscribers, the readers, for when that arc comes out. And maybe you did sit in a meeting and realize, hey, we could actually end the year, or at least come close to it, end the year with the Panic in the Sky saga. And if that's the case, then fine, at least let us know about it. But the way I look at it, folks, is, and I know this is going long, so I do apologize. The way I look at it is, if I'm Archie Comics, the reason I planned on this to really happen, or at least put this, or took advantage of this, or put a positive spin on it, at least let us know. Because as of right now, unless Archie Comics plans, like I said earlier, to play catch up and try to at least get the issues out in a timely manner, to where at least they can have maybe a mid to late summer release for Panic in the Sky. And I'm not talking towards the end of September, end of August release, maybe somewhere around the end of beginning of July release. If I'm Archie Comics and I'm planning to do that, then do it. If not, you should come out and say, hey, look at the bright side. At least you're going to end the year with the biggest story arc ever. If I'm Ian Flynn, and I had my problems with Ian, with all due respect to the guy, if I'm Ian Flynn, at least let those people know on your Bumblecast show that plans have changed and now you're going to end the year with Panic in the Sky. Or at least let them know that you're trying to catch up and trying to at least make an appropriate deadline to where we don't have to wait until the end of November into the beginning of December for this whole Shattered World, Sonic Unleashed, NU 252 arc to end. At least give us some kind of acknowledgement. At least let us know, are you going to try to catch up and try to make a proper summer deadline? Or are you going to just have us wait and let us ride it out towards the end of the year? You got to let us know. They have to let us know. But I also know that this audio video has gone too long, so I do apologize. I know some people will complain about that. But I thought I'd just get this off my chest because whether you guys realize it or not, unless Archie Comics plans to play catch-up real quick so they can meet a decent or at least reasonable summer deadline for Panic in the Sky, you're looking at Panic in the Sky as the last major story arc of the year. Because you'll be ending, I will be ending the year with that story arc. We will be. Myself, Mega Beatman, and anybody else that likes the comics and reads the comics, Mixed Fan 8643, anybody, will be ending the year with that story arc. So let me know what you guys think down below. Again, I apologize this went long for about 20 minutes. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like.